Hi, in this video, I'm going to be talking about this prehistoric, ancient-looking stone, Septarian. Look at this beauty. Seriously, who does beauty the best but Mother Nature? Mother Nature has a way of producing the most beautiful things ever, and one of those beautiful things is definitely Septarian. You know, this stone just looks old to me. It just has this ancient energy to it. It looks like it's been there, done that. And you know, one of the ways that I use to easily determine what the purpose of a crystal is, or what the purpose of a stone is, or a rock, or whatever is to look at the external features of a crystal. Sometimes you don't even have to go deep. The external features speak volumes. So when I look at this stone, I see veins on this stone that look like communication pathways. And because I feel that the energy of this stone is old, because it looks prehistoric and ancient to me, I can see that there's a communication pathway here, which is shown by the veins on this stone that look to me like communication pathways that lead into the ancient, into the old, into the deep that is found within. It looks like they lead to the journey within. And that is the journey of accessing ancient wisdom within the inner cosmic libraries that is only found within. A journey that leads into the archives of the soul. And when we get into the deep, into the old, and when we access that information, we can then bring it forward, integrate that ancient, deep wisdom that helps us remember who we are, and then communicate that wisdom joyfully with the world. This is the message, the first communication message that this stone shows me. Take the journey within, dig deep, remember, bring forth, communicate joyfully with the world. So that is the first thing that I'm learning from the ancient wisdom of this communication pathways that I see on the external of this stone. And you know, when I'm looking at this stone, I see veins, and these veins are really not linear. There's no organized pattern with on them. So they're kind of haphazard, and they kind of look confused. But there's a method to the madness. It sort of reminds me of the nervous system, which is also a communication system within our body that sort of supplies the electrical wiring in our body. So the nervous system runs from our from our brains down our spinal cords into the sensory organs and into the nerves of the organs. And it just flows, and it looks so haphazard when you see an image or a diagram of the nervous system. It looks so confused, but still there's some order and intelligence there that works to ensure that there's electricity in your body. There's an ignition of sparks in your body, you know? So this kind of also reminds me of the sparks that are created when we communicate, when we have electricity in our lives. We sort of come alive when you're working with a stone like Septarian, just like the nervous system, which is a communication system. This stone also can help with us communicating in every way, in every level, with electricity and fire and ignition and spark in our lives. So that's just another way that I look at this stone, and that I use this stone to help me in my life. I mean, we can learn from so many, many, many things. And you know, this is also one of those multicolored stones. So Septarians usually have about 4 colors, you know. You can find a beautiful piece like this one, which has yellow at the top, the yellow calcite at the top, and then there's a brownish color that is aragonite, and then there's a gray, which is a limestone. And this crystal, oh my gosh, it just so, oh, you have no idea. It just feels so good. And you know, calcite, did I say calcite or calcium? The yellow is calcite. Let's not get that twisted. Calcite, yellow calcite. So it's just so beautiful. And it just has, I love calcite. It just makes me feel so joyful. I mean, the buttery feel of calcite. Look at this one. How can you not be joyful just looking at a beautiful piece of calcite like this? Calcite represents joy. So, when I find a stone like Septarian, which has calcite on it, it just reminds me. First, I know that Sectarian is about communication for me and communication pathways, different kinds of communication, whether it's verbal communication, non-verbal communication, intuitive communication, or active communication, whether it's linear communication or non-linear communication, whether it's dimensional or multidimensional, or whether I'm communicating vertically or horizontally, or whether I'm communicating with nature. It doesn't matter. The communication is joyful because it has this calcite on it. So this basically is one of my stones for joyful communication. It's very, very important that the communication that comes forward is a communication that comes from joy, because joy is the inner light of God. This is the inner light of source. So I love joy, and I love stones that help me communicate joyfully. So this is just another thing. So stones that have multi colors are combination stones that can be used for a lot of purposes. So like I said, this was calcite, and then the gray, the yellow is calcite, the gray is limestone, which is gray and very balanced and very neutral. And we all need that. We need that balance and that neutrality and that calmness that the gray color brings, and that groundedness in every kind of communication that we have. And gray is also a very classic color, and it goes well with everything. So gray, gray, Yeah, so it has the gray on it. And then some of these stones also have some whitish or clear color on them, which are basically barite. So these combination stones can be used for whole body healing. And an interesting thing that I heard about Septarian is that Septarian really the word Septarian comes from a Latin word, septem, which basically means 7. Apparently, when these stones are formed, the mud balls, they crack into 7 different parts in every direction. So because they crack in 7 different parts, I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, these 7 different parts can be related to the 7 main chakras of the body. So they can be related to the communication of the 7 main chakras of our body. So this is just how my head thinks. So I'm thinking, well, so therefore I can use a stone like Septarian to communicate from my crown chakra, communication with source, to assist me with that communication with source, to help me in my third eye, my 6th chakra, to communicate within, internally, and with all my senses, to engage all those senses when I'm communicating. My throat chakra, to express myself authentically as I'm communicating. So it helps with the expression of communication through my throat chakra, through my heart chakra, to help me communicate lovingly and with compassion through my heart. My solar plexus chakra, to help me communicate joyfully and powerfully and with confidence. My sacral chakra, to help me understand the communication of what I'm creating in my sacral chakra, and to be able to reproduce it. And then in my root chakra, to communicate with the earth, to remember that the communication is about being supported by the earth, feeling secure, like I belong here. So the communication that this stone helps with is on all levels of our bodies. Just like the nervous system runs from the crown to the bottom, from the brain to the bottom through our spine, and the spine really goes along every chakra of our body. Same way, a stone like this that is basically called Sectarian, which I can basically connect to the 7 main chakras, which to me are all pathways of communication, because each chakra communicates. So it really shows me how the communication between each chakra can flow smoothly and create electricity and dance together in harmony in a very balanced way, which is shown by the gray on this particular stone. So this stone is just such an important stone, especially at this time where we're all coming out of ourselves and remembering our truth and being able to speak out and express ourselves. This stone is very, very important, and is a stone that can help a lot of us, especially at this time, to express who we truly are in the most joyful way. So, do you have a Septarian? Do you use your Septarians for communication, or what do you use them for? I would love to know. Let me know. Leave me a note. And I love you guys. Let's keep communicating on every level. It is very, very crucial because the rays of sound, the rays of our energy, it goes all out into the world, and we are connecting with each other through our ability to communicate, especially joyfully. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.